Hi everyone, it's Danielle with Northlawn Flower Farm. Today I want to share with you how to force hyacinth bulbs inside the home, both in water and in soil. And this is a really fun process and a great way to bring spring into the home before it arrives outside. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is pre-chill our bulbs, and we're really looking for a few things here. We want to provide the bulbs with darkness, humid air, and a temperature between 35 and 48 degrees Fahrenheit. So a great place to do this is just right in the crisper drawer of your refrigerator. So when you pick up some bulbs in September, October, November, go ahead and stick them in a bag, stick them in your crisper drawer, and then forget about them for 13 weeks. Hyacinths need a pre-chilling period of 13 weeks. And one word of caution, be sure not to also store fruit in that area. Fruit puts off a gas called ethylene gas, which can actually kill the embryotic flower inside the bulb. So just be sure to not stick any fruit in the drawer. Now, one other thing we should talk about is that you see today I'm wearing my gloves, and a lot of people have a severe allergy to hyacinths, and I am one of those people. So no matter what part of the hyacinth I'm touching, I am always wearing gloves. They'll make me really itchy, I'll break out in a rash. So that doesn't mean I don't want to work with these guys, but it's just something to be aware of. If you're not sure if you're allergic to them or not, I would just exercise caution and wear gloves at all times. So now let's fast forward in time. These bulbs have been pre-chilling in the refrigerator for 13 weeks. We can take them out and plant them up. And we can either plant them in water or soil. Both work great. So let's talk about water first. For this, you want a container with no drainage holes. And I like to just line the container with pebbles. Then you're going to set the bulbs on the pebbles, surround them with some more pebbles just to help the bulbs stay upright, and then you're going to add water. And here you only want to add water so that it's barely touching the base of the bulb. You can even have it slightly under that. The bulb will know to reach for the water. So better be on the safer side and have it just barely touching than to really submerge the bulb in water. Unfortunately, if that happens, the bulb will probably rot and you won't get flowers. So once that's done, what you want to do is put it in a cool place with indirect light. And you want to go ahead and let it grow in that location. The buds are going to form. And when the buds start to color up, that's when we want to move it to a nice sunny location. And just rotate your pot every few days so that these guys grow nice and straight. And you might think, well, why is that? Why can't I just stick it in a sunny location from the start? Well, what will actually happen is it will appear that the flower is doing really great. It's going to grow really fast, but then the root system is going to be suffering that whole time, and the roots won't be able to put on enough growth to support the foliage and the bloom. So it is important that when you plant them up with hyacinths, put them in the cool place at first, wait for their bud to show color, then move them to a sunny location and start to rotate them. Now let's talk about if you want to plant them in soil. The process is fairly similar. For this, you want a pot with drainage holes. You want to go ahead and moisten your potting soil just a bit. Plant the bulbs, cover them with about 1 inch of soil. I plant them even more shallow when they don't seem to mind, but you definitely don't need to plant them 2 to 3 times the depth of the bulb like you would outside. Just give them at least 1 inch of soil. Then you're going to water them in and do the same thing. You treat them the same after that. A cool place, indirect light when the buds start to color up, a sunny place, and rotate them. And here they are now blooming so beautifully. It takes about 4 to I would say 6 weeks from the time you take them out of the refrigerator at 13 weeks, 4 to 6 weeks additional to see them bloom in the home. So I think now the question a lot of people might have is, can I plant these out in the garden after they're done blooming? Well, unfortunately, if you grew them in water, it's probably best to think of them as an annual and just stick them in the compost pile. They're not going to grow very well in the garden for you. However, if you planted them in soil, yes, you certainly should plant them out in the garden. So let them flower inside, enjoy the bloom, then cut the bloom stalk back, and just think of it as a house plant until spring truly does arrive. And what I've always done is when my hyacinths are blooming outside, I just then go ahead and stick these bulbs out there as well. And they sometimes might not put on a flower for me the next year, but always the subsequent year after that, they'll flower. So, you know, really just a wonderful thing to do, a wonderful way to bring spring into the home before spring is really here. You know, out here in my dining room window, I think we are at about 18 inches of snow today with a thick layer of ice over that. So it's just wonderful to kind of smell these hyacinths and dream of daffodils and tulips and all those wonderful things. I sure hope this video was helpful, and until next time, happy gardening. Bye!